Hello and welcome to part 2 of my DIY series, and this video is going to be about DIY fashion and clothing and accessories. My previous video was about DIY decor. This one is specifically going to be about fashion. And you may have seen some of these in my previous DIY videos. I know that for sure a lot of them were in my really old one, and like maybe one or two were in my newest one. It was called like my recent DIY projects or something. I posted it a few days ago. But yeah, so I'm going to start with bags because I only have 2 of them, and then I'm going to go into clothing. I just showed this one in my previous video that I just posted a couple days ago. This is my purse. I painted it purple. It was originally just a plain black thrifted purse. And so I painted the whole front and side part purple. And the zipper here I painted purple. And I hand sewed all these studs on. I have plans to maybe add more a little bit later, but for now I like how it looks. And my other bag is this bag. I know I showed it in my old DIY video from a couple of years ago. I use it for if I stay overnight somewhere usually. It was a plain black bag that I thrifted, and it's a very big bag. It has a big strap on the front, and you can also carry it like this. But I DIY'd the front here. I sewed everything on. So there's fabric in the back of it. You can see there's skulls. It's like a mesh skull fabric in the back, and then I sewed some ribbon in front of that, and I did it in like a pattern here. So there's this ribbon, and then this ribbon, and this ribbon, and it's the same on this side. And then I put some safety pins right here and right here in the same pattern. I added a few keychains. I'd like to replace them at some point because this is all I had, but I just have this sugar skull, and let's see, I have like a feather and another skull. I got these a long time ago, and they were the only keychains I had at the time, so I might replace them sometime. But yeah, I really like how that bag turned out. That was one of my first kind of big projects I made. And then this is the only skirt I ever made so far. There was a t-shirt I found at a thrift store, and it had this cool fabric on it. It's spiders and spider webs. But I didn't really like it as a t-shirt, so I decided to use one of my black mini skirts as a template, and I sewed this together using the template. And I have this part, like the waistline is all sewed properly on the inside and hemmed, and the inside part, you can see the stitching here. In the bottom is properly hemmed as well. So this is my first successful skirt that I ever made, and I love how it turned out. It would be a good skirt for like around Halloween, especially because of the colors. And then I showed these in my latest video, so I'm not going to go into detail about the patches on them because I already did that. So if you want to see the patches and the pins and stuff, like all the details on these jackets, then go watch the recent DIY projects video that I just posted. This is my goth jacket, and I will give you an overview of the front. And then there's some studs on the sleeves on both sides in a spiky bracelet kind of pattern. And then this is the back, which is still kind of unfinished. And some of these patches were hand painted, and some of them were made with like an iron-on transfer kit, and some of them I just got from concerts and shops and things. Just a lot of different places that I got pins and patches. If you want to see that more in detail, like I said, I talked in depth about that jacket and this next one I'm going to show you in a previous video. This is my metal jacket. This is an updated metal jacket of the bands that I actually like now, and I talked in depth about this one just recently. So I'll give you an overview of what the front looks like. And I haven't added any studs or spikes to this yet, but I probably will later. I'm probably going to make this more fitted because it's kind of big on me. So I'm going to see if there's a way to do that. Otherwise it'll be an oversized metal jacket. And as you can see, I like a lot of symphonic and doom metal a lot. And all these patches were made with an iron-on transfer kit. Made them myself, and I sewed every single patch on here by hand. I hand painted this Lethean Dreams one from some patch material that I had laying around. And same with this Xandria one. I wanted them both to be on the sleeves. I really like how they turned out. And then on the back I have more. I have the Devil Horns Metalhead hand logo, which was from an old t-shirt. And I cut it out and sewed it on here. And then here's an overview of all of these patches. I got a few of these at a concert, or a couple of concerts, I mean. But otherwise I made most of them. And yeah, that is my updated metal jacket. I really like how it turned out, and I'm really excited to wear it to a metal show or something. I haven't had an opportunity to really wear it out yet, but I'm excited. Alright, this one I know I showed in my old DIY video from a couple of years ago. This is my goth vest, which I could probably update because I made this back in like 2018. So some of these bands I don't listen to as much as I used to, but I'll go in depth on this one because I haven't posted any videos with this one in a long time. So I thrifted this vest and I dyed it black. It didn't completely come out black after I dyed it, but it did come out a darker color, so it at least looks a little better. And then all the studs were actually already on it when I thrifted it, which was awesome. So that made it even cooler. I painted the spiderweb on here, and I added some safety pins, and then I have a Sinister Souls pin. I think that was from my Demonia boots that I bought. It came with the boots. And then I got this bat patch that I ironed on this pocket. And let's see. I think I made a lot of these patches as well with iron-on transfer kit, with an iron-on transfer kit. I have a specimen one, which I don't really listen to them a lot anymore. I kind of used to listen to them when I was younger, but I'm not super into them anymore. Clan of Zymox, which I do still listen to a lot. And then I have the Sisters of Mercy. Sometimes I listen to them, but not too often. Lennon After Midnight. Susie and the Banshees and This Cold Night right here, and Lebanon, Hanover. And then I have a couple of pins. I have Lydia Dietz, and it just says Strange and Unusual on it. And then I have London After Midnight here. I have another spiderweb that I painted. This one is a wolf howling. And then I have a spider right here. And this is Ergo Proxy pin with Riel on it and some skeleton hands. And then I just have this weird coffin one. I think I got it as a gift or something. It just says Laughing Coffin on it. I don't really know where it came from, but I put it on there. And then all the X's that are painted on there, I painted on there in the background before I sewed everything on. So that's the front of it. And then on the back, I have a giant patch of Edward Scissorhands. This was a t-shirt at one point. I think I got it from Hot Topic. It looks like artwork that somebody made though. And I tried to DIY it, but I think I messed it up or something, so I cut this off and made it into a patch instead. And I'm not the biggest fan of this movie anymore, but I do really like his design and his character, and I like the artwork on this patch, so I'm just going to leave it on there. I think it looks really cool. And then, what else do I have? I have a Cure patch here. I have a London After Midnight patch here. It's really small, it's kind of hard to see. And then I have Lacrimus Profondaire right here. I have She Passed Away pin right here. I have one, it looks like the Cure album cover, but it says Make America Goth Again, and I thought it was funny. And then The Last Dance, and Hante, and Linnea Aspera. And then I have the Goth Kids from South Park because I think they're hilarious, and I just wanted to add them on the back. So yeah, this is my goth vest, and I still really like it. I might want to swap a couple of these band patches out later, but other than that, I mean, it still looks really cool. I found that I'm more into dark wave and ethereal wave than the post-punk stuff, so this was like when I first started getting into goth. I'm not exactly a huge fan of this jacket anymore. I mean, it still looks cool, but I made this a long time ago, and it's kind of a mess of like goth, metal, and industrial bands, so it doesn't really have like a specific music theme on this one. It's kind of random. I like the jacket itself, but it doesn't really go very well together, and I don't wear it too often. But this was made in like 2018. I don't even really, some of these bands, I'm not really sure if well, I guess I do listen to a lot of them still. So I got some studs that are right here, and I sewed those on the pocket on both sides. I'm not really sure why I sewed this red skull right here. I'm not really a fan of that anymore, but I don't know if I can get that off at this point. Clan of Zymox, Delane, and Xandria, Cradle of Filth. I have more studs here that I sewed on. And then I have some fabric that I sewed on the pocket. It's this bat fabric, and then over top of it I sewed a Xandria patch. And then there's this crow skeleton patch that I sewed on this pocket with some safety pins. And then on this side I have some more fabric that I sewed on this pocket, and then over top of it I sewed a Nightwish patch. And there's a band called Death Stars that I like, and this is like one of their logos, and I think I painted this and sewed it on here. And then on the back I made a hand-painted Dawn of Ashes patch, which is an aggro-tech band that I don't listen to as much anymore as I used to when I was younger. I still like how it turned out, though. I mean, I painted it pretty well for how difficult their logo is. It doesn't look perfect, but whatever. And then I sewed these embellishments on the sides here. And then on the sleeve I have a hand-painted Death Star's logo, which was from a t-shirt that I think I tried to DIY and I messed up, but I did paint this on the t-shirt, so I just ended up cutting it out and putting it on the sleeve. And then on this side I have some studs that I sewed on, and I have a hand-painted London After Midnight patch. So that is all of my music jackets, and I'm gonna move on to shirts and stuff. So let's see, I have, this one's kind of, I don't really wear it too much, but this is a Skinny Puppy one that I made a long time ago, and I kind of cut the collar so it was like this, and then there's these big gaps like where the shoulder is, and I slit up the sides of the sleeve, and I kind of made this design where it looks like stuff was splattered all over it, and then there's the logo and the symbol underneath, and then on the back I somehow did this with the stencil, but this is their logo, if you can see it, and it's all like splattered on the back. And I was so mad because I went to go see the Skinny Puppy final tour with my fiance, and I was looking for this shirt and I couldn't find it, and I didn't get to wear it to their final concert. So I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I couldn't find it. And then a couple of days later I found it, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that was fun. Oh well, nothing I can do about it now. But yeah. And this was from, let's see, I think this was from, I cut off part of a dress, and this was the bottom part. Is like some extra fabric, and so now it's a tube top. It's just plain black, but I've worn it underneath a lot of stuff lately, and it ended up like fitting me really well. So yeah, it was pretty easy to make. I just sewed both of these sides and made sure it like fit me well, and then the bottom I hemmed. So that's all I did really. That was a pretty simple one to sew together. And I made, let's see, I thrifted the shirt, and it already had the lace on the sleeves and the bottom, but I did everything else. So I used a stencil, and I made this Delane logo, which is symphonic metal band, and I cut a V in the collar, and I sewed this grommet lace down both sides here, and then I added some ribbon to make it like a lace-up shirt, and I really like how it turned out. This one I made a long time ago. This was a plain purple long sleeve shirt, and I made a bat stencil, and I just like went crazy and put bats all over the entire shirt, all over the front, the sleeves, and the back. And when I was doing this, I put a piece of cardboard in between the two sides of the fabric so that it wouldn't stick together. And I think I just used black fabric paint as stencil, so it was pretty easy to make. I did this a really long time ago, but it's just a nice, like, kind of plain shirt to wear sometimes, and I like how it looks. Let's see, I don't really wear this one too much anymore either. I kind of wear it as like a pajama shirt. This is a Dawn of Ashes one. Again, I don't listen to them as much as I used to. I'm pretty sure I made a patch or a couple of patches, and I iron them straight onto the shirt. And yeah, that's basically all I did. And the shirt is very plain. It's just plain black. This one was a more complicated one that I made. So might not be too easy to do. But if you want to take a shot at doing something a little more complex, you could try something like this. So this top part with the mesh was one shirt, and this kind of Zymox part was a different shirt, and I sewed them together. So the mesh part had, like the torso part of it was this really ugly floral pattern that I didn't like, but I really liked the sleeves because they're like lacy kind of bell sleeves and they're mesh. So I was like, I'm gonna thrift this shirt, and then I'm gonna cut off the bottom part because I think it's ugly, and then I'm going to sew a different shirt onto the sleeves. So that's exactly what I did. And it's not perfect. It didn't come out perfect, but it was a good practice project, and it could look a lot worse than it turned out. I sewed lace around this top part right here because I wanted to cover up some of the mess that I made when I screwed up on it a little bit. And then on the back, you can see where I sewed it together here. And this was already on it, so it like attaches like that on the back. So I just left it like that because I did like how that looked. But yeah, this was kind of a difficult project, and I'll need to be careful if I try something like this again because I did kind of mess it up. But it is an idea for something a bit more difficult. And I did think that this t-shirt was too plain, so that's why I added the mesh part onto it. It was from a concert. It was just like a plain concert shirt with this on the back. But yeah, I like how it turned out, for the most part. And then I have a Cradle of Filth shirt that I kind of made into like a crop top, but I DIY'd the collar. So I cut off the collar, and then like I cut out these pieces of cotton fabric from the shirt, and I stretched them out, and I safety pinned them together. And then the collar itself, I cut out just this part, and I attached these pieces to the collar so that when I wear it, it kind of looks like this, where these go down like this, and then it's like a collar, and it looks really cool. I wore it to a couple of metal shows. And then I have a similar one. It's a little bit, it's made a little bit better than that one. That one is kind of, what's the word? I don't know. Not as nice looking. This one is a little bit more nice looking. I have this Linea Aspera shirt. Sewed this mesh part right here on the collar, and I kind of made it into a tube top, and I cut like the top part so it was like a tube top, but then I added on this collar. So this is studded fabric that I had a roll of, and I sewed these pieces together. I sewed these 3 long strips going down, and then I attached them to a collar piece on the top part, and I added an embellishment with jump rings onto the back here so that I can attach it. And so, just like the other one, it kind of goes like this around my neck. And it's kind of got the same design as the Cradle of Filth one. This one is kind of the same idea, but it looks a bit different. This is a Nightwish t-shirt. Hey, so my camera cut off, and I'm going to be filming the other half of this video now. This is like several weeks after I filmed the first part. So anyway, I was showing you my Nightwish shirt, which has it's kind of similar collar as the other two, but this one is, it's more complicated. I actually sewed this part on. It's a neck piece that looks like this usually, and then I sewed 2 pieces of fabric on the side so that I could keep the ends from coming loose, and I sewed lace around the entire top part, front and back. Let's see, right here. And then I just added this top piece to attach the top collar piece together. So it looks sort of like this. And these are just little straps on the back to hold up the shirt so it doesn't fall down. And then I have, this is quite an old project. I don't even really listen to this band a whole lot anymore, but this was a really old t-shirt. This is a Motionless in White t-shirt, and I sewed lace on the top. I made it into a tube top before I did that though, so I like cut the sleeves off and I cut the sides to be more fitted, and then I put the lace on, and then I also did this in the back. It's where I cut the back in half, and then I cut a bunch of strips and tied them together all the way down. And then this was an oversized band shirt that I got at a concert because I asked for a medium twice and the guy gave me an extra large because he wasn't listening or something. So anyway, I made it into a medium tank top. This was from the Sandria, Camelot, and Battle Beast concert I went to in 2023. I sewed in the sides so that they fit me, and I cut the sleeves off and the collar off, and now it's a tank top. This was also an old one I made. This was just a plain black tube top that I bought at a thrift store. It was already cut like this and everything, and I just used a stencil that I made for the Sandria logo and some fabric paint, and I painted on the Sandria logo. And I also did that same thing here. This is a recent one I made. This is my Frozen Autumn shirt, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. The logo looks perfect on it. Let me know if you have any suggestions for how I should style this shirt, because I'm not sure how to style it. I don't want to ruin it, but I want to like cut it into a more interesting looking style than just a plain t-shirt. I just haven't been able to figure out like what I want to do with it. And then I also have this old t-shirt, which I also cut. It's another Motionless in White one. And I like cut up the sleeves so that they're all like ripped and they go down like with these big strings. And then I cut the collar into this more wide collar, sewed in the sides so it was more fitted. But yeah, it looks really cool. It's kind of got this like drapey sort of look with those pieces of fabric. And there's one more band shirt, which is this kind of Zymox tank top I made. It was an athletic shirt, so the fabric is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why I used this shirt in the first place. I made this a really long time ago, but it's like really stretchy athletic fabric, and it's really thin, but I painted the logo right here, and I think I used maybe a spray bottle or maybe a paintbrush to make this splattered effect all over the shirt on the front and the back. Same kind of thing as like the Skinny Puppy shirt. I'm pretty sure I used a spray bottle. I think I forgot to mention that, but that splattered effect I did on it, I like put some fabric paint in a spray bottle with some water, and I like sprayed it all over on the shirt. But yeah, this I also did this logo on the bottom. I used a stencil for both of them that I made. Most of these I made stencils and then traced them. And then I cut the collar so that it's this like open shoulder tank top. That's it for band shirts, but I have one movie t-shirt. I have The Craft, and I think I got this shirt at Hot Topic, but it was way too big on me. So I made it into a tank top, and I just cut the sleeves off and like made them into these tank top sleeves. And then on the sides, I did this thing again where I cut it in half, and then I cut all these slits down and tied them together on both sides. I did that. So now it fits me like way better than it did before. And then I have a tank top I got from Target several years ago in the Halloween section. I think it might have been 2018 or something. This is a bat shirt. I didn't like the collar on it, so I made the collar into this. So I have this grommet lace that I sewed on both sides down the collar, and then I added leather lace in between, tied all the way up. And I think that's all I did for this one. And it looks like I need to fix it because it's kind of ripping on the top here, but it is a little tight, so that's probably why it ripped. I didn't do any, or maybe I did. I think I might have sewed this in a little bit because it was like a little too baggy on me. But yeah, I really like how this collar turned out. I love these types of collars. They look really cool. They've always been like one of my favorite types of collar, so I DIY them on several pieces of my clothes. Oh, I guess I did have one more band shirt that I forgot about, but this one is one that I actually DIY'd for my boyfriend. So this is his shirt, but I made a stencil, and I made the Diary of Dreams logo, and I just took some fabric paint and put it on there. He really likes it. I think the sleeves ripped a couple times and I had to sew them back together, but yeah, he really likes it. He's had it for like five or 6 years now. I think I gave it to him as a gift. And this is a dress I got at a thrift store. So right now, the only thing that you can see that I did to this was I cut the bottom off. It was a lot longer before. It was like, it went down way further. But I didn't like how long the skirt was. I liked this length much better. But anyway, it doesn't stop there. I took that piece that I cut off, and what I do with it is when I wear the dress, I will sometimes wear this as a top. It's like a sash, and it looks better around my arms, around the top part of the dress, than it does on the bottom. So that's what I do with it. I like the style a lot better, but I purposely made it a removable piece because sometimes I like to wear this dress without it, and sometimes I like to wear it with it. I don't really wear this too much. I'm not sure if I like how it turned out. It's a little too short on me, but this was a tank top. I think it was from Spencer's or something, and I cut strips at the bottom and stretched them out, and I cut strips in the back so that it has this cool effect on it. And on the sides, I put some safety pins because I cut it because it was too big, so I made it more fitted, and then I just safety pinned it back together. This is a very messy kind of shirt. I don't really wear this sort of stuff very often, but it is really cool looking. I'm also pretty sure I cut the collar to be a lot bigger than it was. So, yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. That's it for clothes, other than this costume that I made a long time ago. I have a character that I drew for a story I'm writing, and this is basically what I pictured her outfit to look like. She's like a fairy. I made this in 2018, or 2017 or 2018. This is like a top where I sewed flowers on, and I sewed every single individual flower on here. They're all fake craft flowers, and then this top part I sewed some lacy ribbon, and then on the back I made this corset sort of pattern. I didn't really do it right. This was a long time ago, but for how I did it, I mean, I guess it could be a lot worse. I just like cut holes in here and then looped this lace through them. Kind of a weird way to do it, but you know, whatever. And then I sewed all these black pieces so that it kind of looks like, I guess, a corset style. I didn't really know what I was doing back then, to be honest with you. So that's the top, and then I have a skirt that goes with it, and it's this. I made it myself. I'm not really sure how I made it, but I just know I attached a skirt on the inside and I kind of just sewed around it and made these pieces fit to the shape of the skirt. And I just like cut random pieces and sewed them together so it looks very like fringy and fairy-like. I wore it a lot to the Renaissance Fair when I was younger. And the last things I have to show you are just jewelry and these arm things that I cut out of tights, which you've probably seen before. Most goths know how to do this. It's really easy. So, if I can... Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, so this used to be a pair of tights, and I just cut a hole in the crotch and stretched it out, and now it goes over my arms. And you can, if you want to, you can cut holes like in the fingers too. Sometimes I do that, like so that your fingers can go through like this. I did that with the thumb and the pinky finger, or whatever you call that. And then this one, I did the same thing with these. I did the same thing with these spiderweb ones. Isn't this a cool, if you can see it, isn't this a cool fabric? I love it. I love wearing these. They're my favorite. Okay, necklaces. Mostly chokers. Except that I thought this was cute. My boyfriend made this for me as a gift. And I think it's really cute. It's butterflies, and it's a little coffin with a picture of us in it. If you can even see that. But yeah, I thought it was really cute. I don't know why he chose gold, but maybe he thought it would go better with the butterflies or something. This is a choker I found a really long time ago. I think I've had this for years, and I think I got this at Claire's. like years and years and years ago, and it had a spider on it, but I added these spikes on it. I haven't worn it in a really long time. It looks very 90s. And then this one was really easy to make. I just added this clasp and jump rings on the back of it, and it was just this fabric that I found. It's not very soft fabric, and it has studs all over it. I made this one, which is a little bat in the middle and a bunch of studs and some ribbon. And then at the back part, how you attach it is I sewed this piece on, just the scrap piece of fabric, just sewed it to the ribbon here, and then I cut a hole in it right here. And on the other side I did the same exact thing, except I didn't cut a hole in it. And I just sewed a button on that one, and you just loop the button through the hole, and that is how it closes to be worn. And I'm pretty sure I did the same thing with this one. Yeah, so this one I sewed everything on here as well. I have like a tree charm and a bunch of studs, and I always make sure to try and measure out the studs so they're almost the same distance apart. I mean, I don't really get it like perfect, but I try to do my best to do that. And then I added some chain, like random pieces of chain I just had like lying around, and I sewed it on here, and then I sewed this charm on. And like with the last one, this just has a button that goes through a hole. You open and close it like that. This one's part of a costume. I also have a bracelet just like this. This is for a raven costume. I actually sewed some ribbon and lace and feathers together. So I think I did, my first layer was this plain ribbon on the back, and then I sewed feathers to it, and then over top of the feathers I think I sewed this lace over top of it. So yeah, this and this one attaches with safety pins because I haven't fixed the back part yet for the clasp, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like that for a while. I don't really wear this costume very often anyway. It's mostly just for Halloween and stuff, or like festivals where I dress up. And then this one was a plain black choker that I had gotten from Route 21 years and years and years ago. And it's tangled, I guess. There's like a piece of hair caught in it. There we go. So yeah, this was from Route 21, and it was just plain black with this little gem in the middle. I used to like it like that, and I think maybe it came with another necklace, but I had it laying around for a while, and then like eventually I really didn't like how plain it was, so I sewed these studs on it, and I sewed this spider and spider web in the middle. And then all this was like already on here, so I didn't do anything with that. I have this choker as well, which is just a piece of ribbon, plain black ribbon with studs sewn on. And the clasp here is 2 pieces of Velcro that I sewed on in opposite directions so that they'll stick together. And I actually have a short on how to make this on my YouTube channel if you want to go watch that. And this is the last one. I'm pretty sure I made this for costumes, but this is some flowers I sewed on and some studs that I sewed on. These are more or less craft flowers, and just sewed on a piece of ribbon, and then I have the clasp in the back, which I guess broke at some point. I might have to fix that. But yeah, this is, I don't really wear this one very often, but I think I made it a long time ago. It's very pretty. Okay, that's it for necklaces, and then I have like 2 pairs of earrings that I made. And all I did was just take these charms and I added these jump rings and, what are they called? Hooks. Yeah, I like added hooks and jump rings. So these are some little leaves, and I know I have another one. The other one is like bat wings. I just had the other one somewhere, but it's like somewhere on the floor, and I can't find it at the moment. So yeah, this is my bat wing. Same thing, just a jump ring and a hook. I showed this in my recent video. This is a bracelet I made from scratch, just with ribbon sewed together, and then this butterfly charm that was randomly laying around. It probably fell off something a long time ago, and then I added this hardware on the back to attach it together. It is too, I think it was too small on me or too big on me. No, it's just really hard to get on, that's all. So I have to adjust it. But it is really, really pretty. I really like how it turned out. Oh, here's the other earring that I was looking for. Alright, my last item for this whole video is a belt that I DIY'd. So, I thrifted this belt. It was plain black. Just a plain black cincher belt, and I sewed on all of these studs, and I sewed the spider on in the middle. I believe it was a earring that I lost the other one or something, so I just made it into something else. And then it has this in the back to attach it together. It's a waist belt. But yeah, I just did my best to sew this into a pattern and measure it to be as about the same for each row, and I tried to put that like as close to the center as possible. I like how it turned out. I think it's really cool looking. It goes with a lot of my outfits because I wear purple so much. Well, that's it. That's it for my clothing DIY and jewelry DIY video. So I hope you liked this video. I know it was really long, but I had a lot of stuff to show you, and I'm sure there's a few things that I forgot to put in this video, but yeah, I'm glad that I could remake this, and I hope that it wasn't as awkward as the last time I tried to make this video. I know I had some new items in here too. Some of these are in the old video that I made. I think a lot of these are, but hopefully you got really inspired by this, or you just enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!